Hi everyone, welcome back to Wrestling Fun with Father and Son. I'm Father Matt, and this is Son.
Hi.
And this is week's WWE. This is the Rawsome review. Let's say this is the Rawsome review. Raw, 30th of the 9th, 2019. Season premiere in America. It started off with new everything, didn't it? A new logo, a new intro, there was pyro, a new commentary team, a new stage. What did you think of the stage?
I thought it was like a skate park thing.
It's a little bit, yeah. It's got that sort of the back sort of curves down this time. It's quite a strange stage, but yeah, it's not too bad. I don't know. I think it's going to have to grow on me a little bit better. I'm not completely convinced by it, but we'll see what it's like in a couple of weeks when I keep seeing it and we'll see if it grows on me. But yeah, it started off with Rey Mysterio coming out. Obviously, Rey Mysterio is going to have a match against Seth Rollins for the Universal title. He won a fatal 5-way match, didn't he, last week? He did a bit of a promo. It was noted that his son Dominic was in the crowd as well. He basically was saying it was because of Dominic that he was in the situation of being able to fight for the title, only for someone else to sort of interrupt and come down. Who was it?
Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, Brock Lesnar with Paul Heyman. He came down. Paul Heyman sort of... Oh no, I think... Yeah, it was Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar snatched the mic off Rey Mysterio, gave it to Paul Heyman, only for Rey Mysterio to snatch it back. Before we really get into sort of any discussions, Brock Lesnar decided to do 2 F5s to Rey Mysterio, attacking Rey Mysterio. He then did a bit of a stare down to Dominic, who was like say, in the crowd. He then went over to Dominic, he grabbed him, he assaulted him, he grabbed him like sideways, threw him into the side post. He did a German suplex to Dominic. Rey Mysterio was trying to sort of defend his son as well by trying to stop Brock Lesnar, only to receive another F5, and then they both got normal suplexes. They basically got decimated, and a lot of people sort of descended down to the ring to help, only for Brock Lesnar to sort of get out of the ring, decide to turn back, go back and try to attack the people that are helping, and then he threw Dominic out of the ring. And it looked to me, I said that kind of, it looked like Brock Lesnar was kind of scared. He looked a bit worried that he was losing control, which is what I thought. But then he sort of left with a bit of a smile and done his little sort of pose, and that was kind of it. Then during the break, they showed, like after we come back off the break, they saw during the break where they showed Dominic being stretchered off in an ambulance with a neck brace on, and that was kind of a nice explosive start to Raw. Then we had Sasha Banks versus Alexa Bliss. And Becky Lynch came out and did a bit of a commentary. Kind of more, it wasn't about the Alexa Bliss match, it was kind of more about Becky Lynch and Sasha's match at Hell in a Cell, because Sasha Banks went to the sort of turnbuckle at the sort of corner that faces the commentary desk, calling to Becky. Becky got on the announce table, was calling back, holding the belt up. They had a little bit of back and forth. There was a bit where she was taping her hands up as well, getting ready for a fight. Sasha Banks won the match because she called for Bayley. She said Bayley at the ringside, distracted Bliss, got the pin on Alexa Bliss, and that was how she won. Only for then there to be a brawl after the match between Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks, and Sasha Banks sort of ran into the crowd. And she hightailed it into the crowd. Becky Lynch got a microphone and she sort of said basically about the cell. In the cell you will not be able to escape me, and that was kind of it. Then we had a first championship match of the night. It was the Raw Tag Team Champions, Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler versus Heavy Machinery. Not much to it. Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode won. That was kind of it. Then we had Miz TV with 2 special guests. Who were they?
Hulk Hogan.
Yep. With Jimmy Hart. Yep.
And Ric Flair.
Yep, Ric Flair, who is a 16-time champion. If people are eagle-eyed, they'll notice that the back graphic of the new stage, it said 17 times, which I thought was a little bit of an error. I don't think he is 17 times. He's a 16-time, isn't he? This basically served, there was a little bit of back and forth about their rivalry, a bit of fun, a bit of playing, a bit of teasing, but it really served another purpose because The Miz announced on the 31st of October at Crown Jewel there's going to be Team Hogan versus Team Flair, where they'll both be captains of 5 people. Hogan then introduced his first captain, who was Seth Rollins, yes, come down. Only for them, Ric Flair tried to announce his captain, but he got cut off and he came out anyway. It was Randy Orton. They were then taunting each other and said, well, we might as well have a match now. They were going to have a match, only for somebody to come out. Who was it?
Baron
Corbin, yeah. King Corbin came out. As Seth Rollins was distracted, Randy Orton jumped in from behind, only for them to have a bit of a brawl. Corbin came in to sort of help Orton, only for somebody else to come down to help with the save. Who was that?
Rusev.
Yep, Rusev came down. Again, we'll get onto it a bit later on. But again, he's sort of been pulled into this sort of storyline. The Maria Kanellis storyline is sort of ended, kind of. We'll get to that in a little while. And then they shoot another backstage bit with Rey Mysterio and Dominic being taken away in an ambulance. So they said that Seth Rollins was against... It was question mark at the time, but it became Rusev later on because Rusev had a promo. He said, "Oh, you know, I'll challenge," and he did basically, and they accepted it. Then we had the Viking Raiders versus the OC. The Viking Raiders won. We then had Ricochet versus Cesaro in a very quick match. Again, Ricochet won. Then we had the Fireflies Funhouse Kai. This one wasn't a too bad one. This was quite a cool one. Basically, the puppets were all scared. They were all terrified. Rambo Rabbit was so terrified that he was scared to death. So they were saying they're all terrified about what the Fiend is going to do to Seth Rollins. But Bray Wyatt was basically saying that the Fiend can't wait to get his hands on Seth Rollins, and that was kind of it. It was a quite cool Fireflies Funhouse this week. I quite liked it. Then we had AJ Styles versus Alexander in the US title match. Again, not much to this match. Again, AJ Styles won. Then we had Lacey Evans Natalia. Again, another match which was just, I couldn't be bothered with it. Lacey Evans won. Then we had what I was saying earlier about Maria Kanellis. They asked her about Rusev being the father. She said no, so he's been pulled out of that. But they've sort of pulled him into another storyline, which again is what I'm deeming Raw's rubbish. I'm not happy. Again, they've replaced one rubbish storyline with another one. For the main event, there was a limo pulled up. We don't know who was in it, but we find out later on. It was Seth Rollins versus Rusev, and also Baron Corbin and Randy Orton, who had altercations with them two earlier on the ramp, sort of viewing. The match didn't have a conclusion because somebody made a return. Who made a return?
Bobby Lashley.
Bobby Lashley made a return. Yes, he's been injured ever since I think he went through the stage with Braun Strowman. I don't think we've seen him since then. He's now come back. Quickly, I interject. Before with Rusev, they actually asked Rusev in a backstage interview, "Where's Lana?" And he didn't answer. This feeds into this bit because he introduced Lana, didn't he? She came out. They hinted during the night that they were having difficulties in their marriage. This is sort of confirmed. I'm calling this Raw's Rubbish Part 2 because I think it is. It's kind of the same as the Mike and Maria Kanellis storyline. I can see it being the same way. They're saying that Lana is cheating on Rusev with Bobby Lashley because they were basically together. They must have been in a limo. She came out, she kissed him, and you know, that was kind of, I just don't know what to say. Anyway, the ending. The lights went out. The Fiend's music type thing started, only for the Fiend to attack Seth Rollins at ringside, and then the lights went out, and they had Bray Wyatt's laugh, and that was kind of it, and sets up Hell in a Cell. So yeah, Raw season premiere was okay. It had a few little things. I do like the new logo. I think it's quite cool. It's fun that the pyro is back. That was quite cool to see it come back. And yeah, I'll have to see about the stage if it grows on me. I don't think it's too bad. We'll see. But yeah, it was an okay first sort of season premiere. It's not really. They continue the storylines on, but they kind of say it's a season premiere. Hell in a Cell. Predictions. It's really hard this time to do a predictions video because there's only 3 matches. Yes! Only 3 matches for Hell in a Cell. There is Seth Rollins and The Fiend, Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks, Eric Rowan and Luke Harper versus Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan. I'm guessing they'll make some more matches on 205 and SmackDown and that, but 3 matches is terrible when you've got, as we're recording this, 5 days I think it is until Hell in a Cell. It is terrible to think that Clash of Champions had 9 matches booked in before the pay-per-view. This is absolutely awful. I can't. They care more about the season premieres than they do the pay-per-view. They've got a ladder match between Kevin and Shane on SmackDown, which could have been on Hell in a Cell to be fair. But anyway, I'm getting off topic. I don't want to make the video really long. So yeah, the schedule this week, it will be, the next 2 videos are going to be NXT, the look back, NXT recap, and the first edition of the Explosive Elite review for AEW, which will be probably Thursday. I think they were going to be Friday, but they might be Thursday, Friday now, because I know I've got a gap on Thursday and Friday. So yeah, So if you like this video, please like, comment and subscribe. And tell us what you think about Hell in a Cell's matches. I'd really like to know what other people's opinions are of the Hell in a Cell. There only being 3 matches on, as we're recording this, Tuesday before Hell in a Cell. I think it's really interesting that they don't really matter too much, that they put too many matches into. So they've got to sell that pay-per-view, and if they don't sell it with the matches, then what's the point? Maybe do away with the pay-per-view. So yeah, I think we'll leave it there. So I'll say goodbye. Say goodbye, Kai.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.